Arunachal has an like very specific situation. Because like our resources contribution of the state is about 15%. The 85% of our financial resources are primarily coming from the central or the federal government. And because of the COVID-19 pandemic, number one. Secondly, of the slowdown of the economic activities in the last quarter of the last financial year, the devolution of the central taxes share which has been allocated to the state of Arunachal Pradesh, there is a sizable impact on that. See, in the last financial year, we have like what the government of India has projected in the beginning of the budget when they placed the budget before the parliament, and what we finally got in the last financial year, there is a gap of about 2,800 crore. So that is the number one point which we have to keep into the consideration. Second is like when we come to the current financial year. In the current financial year, right from April, May, June, July, in the last 4 months, we had a shortage of about 845 crore. So when the government of India gone to the parliament presenting the current financial year budget and what they given to us, there is a gap of exact amount in 845 crore. So that is the one thing. Then in the last quarter of the last financial year, which I said is about 2,583 crore. So 2583 and plus 845, it is about 33 to 3400 crore rupees is the less which what we planned and what we got. So that is the one important issue which you have to take into the consideration. Second important point was, despite these financial constraints, the Arunachal Pradesh is perhaps will be the few of state in the entire country where we have tried to ensure that the money circulation of the money in the state economy shall not be reduced. And we have to very large extent has successful in keeping that implementing that thing. Number one, all our employees and all our pensioners and all our contingent staff, they have been paid on time. There has been no delay in making the payment to all these three categories of the people, because we have a sizable number of pensioner also, we have a sizable number of the contingent staff, and of course is a regular employee of the state. Number one. Number two is that where we have incurred the expenditure and we showed the LO's check in the last financial year, because you know that generally the government functioning in the last quarter is much more than in the initial quarters. We have cleared all those liabilities in the last 4 months. Then there are few important things of the state where state cannot wait despite the COVID-19, because all of you must be desperately looking forward to have an airport in the state of Arunachal Pradesh. So we are also equally committed that when the country is entering into the 75th year of India's independence, at that time the airport has to be in the state of Arunachal Pradesh. There should not be any state in the country which do not have an airport. So we, despite COVID-19 pandemic, we said we will go ahead. So this is just an illustration I am sharing with you. There are many other similar type of projects where we, despite the COVID-19, we have gone ahead. For example, like when we talk about this Holangi airport, there are many things which is the responsibility of the state, because within the four wall of that boundary wall is the responsibility of the central government. But the approach road, providing in a bulk power supply, providing in a water, shifting in a transmission line, and an approach road, it is the responsibility of the state. And all these things, as you know, like the cost of construction in this part of the country is little high. Therefore, we said, okay, we'll go ahead. So what I'm saying, number one, We have not done any major economic measures what the other state in the country has to do it. For example, deferring the salary payment, defer that refund of the GST, even like defer even like transportation allowances of the employees. But we said we are going ahead with 100%, whatever is our responsibility. Similarly, we have cleared the checks which we have issued in the month of March for the last financial year. They are again very sizable amount. Then we have also gone ahead with a large number of the very important projects for the state. So if you see the expenditure which we have done it in the first 4 months, vis-a-vis with the last 4 months, similar period of the last financial year, we have not reduced the expenditure. So that is something, and I'm not saying like we have done an extremely very good job, but you should appreciate that the state government has done a good job to ensure that the people should not have any adverse impact. Now coming to the next few months, we are now in the month of August, September, October, November, because the GST collection in the country is started picking up now. There was a problematic area in the month of April, May. April was dramatically very poor in the country. But now if you see the data of the GST collection in the country, it is coming on the track. So we do expect now after the few months time that central share will be restored by the government of India. But despite that, as you must have read it in the today's newspaper, the government has taken a very conscious call. There are few work which has been completed till the last year, which you people know call that SIDF, sorry. SIDF is the one. Then there is another work which has been done by the state in the past and payment is to be made. The conscious decision has been taken in the next 4 to 5 months, we will clear these liabilities also. And this is again not a small amount of money. This is about approximately about 1,000 crore of rupees, which will be taken care by the government in the next 4 to 5 months. Now you have to appreciate our monthly expenditure, which we cannot be delayed. For example, like the salary, pension, contingent staff, and in addition to that, we will clear this backlog. Another important issue is the government of Arunachal Pradesh has taken a decision that when you read our economic measure which the cabinet has taken in the recent past, it has not said it will be a blanket ban on floating the new tender. What we said it has to be consciously decide which is something which cannot wait. So therefore the government of Arunachal Pradesh decided that the tender for such type of project, for example like MLA fund, then like last year we had made a commitment CCI thing which is about 320 crore of rupees. So the tender for all these things will be floated immediately, so that because we have a working season in the state now, from this month to next 6 months is a working period, so we can use this window to ensure the developmental activities at the ground level. Primarily we have taken about 7 sources for mobilizing the fund for fighting the COVID-19. One was that because the government of India was very proactive and they said that we are giving you a fund under that disaster response for SDRF they call it. So the government of India said look, up to 35% of the total money which we give it to the state, you can use it for the COVID-19. So we have used about less than 20 crore rupees from that fund, which we have made it available to the Deputy Commissioner directly. And the Deputy Commissioner was supposed to incur the expenditure for the COVID management. So it's about 20 crore of rupees. In fact, In the another pipeline, 4.5 crore is in a pipeline, but which will take few days to reach to the districts. Then there is a Prime Minister Care Fund for the migrant. So we have received as a whole, as a other part of the country, about 3.5 crore of rupees only for helping the migrant laborers. So that's not a big amount. NDRF, I said, is about 20 crore rupee already spent on the money. 4.5 is in pipeline. Under that migrant laborers thing, 3.5, about 3.6 crore has come from the central government. Then there is a National Health Mission. National Health Mission till date, we have gotten about 25.72 crore, including about 7.5 or 7.7 crore rupees only in the last week. So like if 25.72 minus 7.72, so we can about 18-19 crore rupees has come from the National Health Mission, and that money we have incurred the expenditure. To be very precise, it is 119.28 crore. Then NEC also given in the beginning, in the month of March, I think, about 3.25 crore rupees for handling this problem to our state, so that also we have used it. Then we have another scheme of MMRKK. This is basically for the health sector, where we are empowering the Deputy Commissioner to incur the expenditure on the health sector. This year we have told all the Deputy Commissioner to use this money. Don't use this money for creating a permanent infrastructure like building, etc. Use this money for buying the medicine, use this machine buying the health equipment only. And we have disbursed about 15 crore rupees to all the Deputy Commissioner under MMRKK scheme. In addition to that, we have our own state plan also. In a state plan, we have spent about 6 crore rupees, which has primarily gone into the three major areas. One was the oxygen cylinder, secondly the mobility of the health staff at the ground level, and then because we are the only state in the country where we have gone on a large number of the institutional quarantine facilities, and therefore incurring the expenditure on the food and other logistics. So that is about 2.5. So what I mean to say, like from the state non-plan, about 6 crore rupees we have spent. Then Government of India has given us assistance in kind also, where we have not made any payment. For example, about PPE, we gotten about 41,000 PPE at no cost to the state. N95 mask, which is about 50,000, less than 50,000. We have got under the Prime Minister Care Fund about 50 ventilators. Then we got another 5 ventilators from Government of India, where we have not paid any money. Then gloves and goggles and the oxygen cylinder. So this has come in the shape of a kind. Then because when this pandemic started in the country, voluntarily a large number of the people came forward to help the government, and they contributed to the CM Relief Fund. So from the CM Relief Fund also, we have spent about 15.23 crore of rupees, which has primarily gone on 4 major areas. Number one was that because about 20,000 odd people, including the large number of the students, were stranded in the almost in every part of the country. And like when there was a national lockdown, and at that time they need a support from the state government. So we have paid money at the rate of rupees 3,500 per person who are stranded in the other part of the country, and we spent about 6 crore rupees to these our people. Then because police and the local administration, they do not have a normal funding for their mobility because the vehicles and other thing. So we spend a good amount of money to the district police officer and the district medical officers, because Generally, it's like normal allocation in any normal time is not so much, and therefore we said that like we'll help the DMOs, we'll help the superintendent of police to incur the expenditure. Then we have to like Itanagar or capital complex is facing a large number of the people coming from the different part of the country. So we have to set up in a large quarantine facilities, which was initially at Bandardeva. Later on, we converted Lekhi also. A good amount of money has also gone into creating a facility at the Lekhi also, which is about 2.33 crore. So what I mean to say, if you add all these expenditure as on date today, about 100 crore rupees we have actually spent on the COVID management, and the work detailing will share with you. In addition to that, some of the departments and the deputy commissioner has incurred the expenditure where we are in the process of making a payment. So that is about, if I remember correctly, is about 21 crore. So like 100 plus 21 is the total expenditure gone into the COVID management right from the day one. There may be a possibility that some of the money which we transfer to the deputy commissioner, it may be with them. But that according to me may not be a large number, so I'm not accounting for that. I'm assuming that whatever money has gone to the deputy commissioner or the district medical officer or the superintendent of police, it has been incurred the expenditure. Then one of the major important issue is during this time a sizable money has also gone into procurement of the medical equipment also. When we entered into this 2020 year, there was no ICU in the state, so we have set up an ICU not only in TRIMS but in the other part of the state also. So as you generally like creating an ICU, you need many equipments for setting up an ICU. So we have also incurred the expenditure for creating a test facilities, number one, ICUs, and then the other medical necessity equipments. For example, like you've been to Midpur a few days back. So like for taking care of the patient, you need a lot of equipments. So those equipments are there. Then second expenditure was testing. Because once we started doing a testing at through TrueNet and through the RT-PCR lab in TRIMS, so you have to like procure the VTM, you have to procure the very reagent also, and which is generally in a very it cost a reasonable amount of money. And then of course when these two medicine came into the globally known as these are the good medicine for the treatment of the people, name will be shared by Parthiban. So that Remdesivir, and there is one more medicine. So we have procured that medicine. Rapid antigen test, as you know, it cost about 500 rupees. When we are doing a testing running into lakhs of rupees, it cost a good amount of money. So this is all we have done it in the last, you can say from March to till date. Now question comes, what we have learnt in the process. We have one major issue. One is we have a large state. Even though population is less, but Arunachal is the 10th largest state in the country. So our spread is too large. Going from Longding to Tawang, even if I want to move continuously, I'll take minimum 2.5 days to reach Tawang. So we realize that the medical facilities, when we entered into the districts or we go to the subdivision level, there are issues. And now we realize that these issues cannot wait anymore now. So the government has taken very conscious decision, which perhaps I have not seen in any other part of the country, where we said we will, whatever, like we get an assistance from under various schemes from the government of India, or even our self-borrowing, we will put this money for the current financial year and then the next financial year to upgrade the health infrastructure, which includes the hospital building in all the district headquarters. So that is where like we after taking a cabinet decision, we already started working on preparing the TPR. I'm 101% sure that we will be in a position to mobilize so much amount of money, which is today we are expecting it is 350 crore, but as generally happens, like there may be an like increase by another 10-15%. But in the next 2 years, we are committed to upgrade the health related infrastructure in the entire state, where it is not only the building but the equipments and other allied instruments which is required for running a proper hospital. Now you will ask me a question. It is very easy to develop a capital, building, equipment, another thing, but there is a need for who will run this show, because that is why that you must have seen in the last 2 months time, we have already gone to the Arunachal Pradesh Public Service Commission for recruiting the specialist. If I remember correctly, we have requested the Public Service Commission, can you please hire 137 precise number for the different categories of the specialist. And the last date for submitting of such application has already gone, and we have received, not we, Public Service Commission has received about 110 application. Our effort says we are extending all the possible cooperation with the Public Service Commission so that they can conduct the exam interview for the specialist, and so that in the next few months time the state shall get 137 specialists. There may be, I do admit that we may not be able to achieve 100%, but I am quite sure that at least 75 to 80% of our intent or our requirement will be made available by the Public Service Commission. So once these specialist comes, then, and by that time, and of course creating of infrastructure will take some time, we will be in a position to provide a better health facilities in the entire state. Then the question comes, it is not only a specialist, you need a regular doctor also, medical officer, simple MBBS. For that also, whatever was the vacancy in the state government, we have already communicated to the Public Service Commission, and it was about 69 vacancies were there, and they have also received an application. In the case of the medical officer, because they have to take an examination, written examination, it will take some time, but we are quite sure that we will not enter into 2021. So in the current calendar year, the specialist and the regular doctors will be made available to the department, so that you, whatever like we are facing the constraints of the manpower in the remote areas, that can be addressed. In addition to that, once you have a specialist, you have a doctor, then you need a paramedical staff also, including the nurses. The department is already on move now to hire or recruit about 400 nurses under the National Health Mission. So in brief, what I am saying is, we have learned the lesson in the last few months time. The government has committed to improve our health infrastructure in the entire state, and we are making available the sufficient fund, and we have made up a plan that in the next 1 year, 1 to 2 years, you will find a perceptible change as far as the health facilities are concerned in the state. Issues which is troubling the younger generation of the state, one was like the problem which we had faced in the staff selection board examination. See, like we were equally concerned. It is not only that, because the government is committed for a very good future for the younger generation of the state. So we have the government is committed that we should have a very transparent and very fair examination system in place, so that the genuine people or the serious boys and girls come to the government. But unfortunately, sometimes, because sometime it is not the way you visualize or you think or you plan, it happened. Similarly, in the SSB case, we have also faced the similar type of problem. See, the as long as the life exists, the problem will exist. But the question is that after when we face the problem, whether we were serious to rectify it or not, that is a major important issue. So we have taken immediately the many corrective measures. One, of course, is like to fix up the responsibility, which I'll come to you again, like whosoever is responsible, how to handle the problem, and if punish them or take action against them. But second is that how to ensure that this problem does not happen in future, because that is more important for us. So what we have done it, because fortunately, because sometimes the problem also given us some positive output also. The COVID-19 pandemic has also given us a timeline to do a reworking for that entire operation of the SSB. So during this last about 3 to 4 months time, we have notified, we consulted all the good SSB in the entire country. We have also consulted the Staff Selection Commission of the Government of India. We have also consulted some people who has done a good experience of working in the SSB. Today we have, based upon the inputs or consultation process, all the SOPs has been put in black and white. So black and white in the sense, because when we faced this problem in the month of January, we realized that the instructions are not existing in black and white. Because this SSB was a very new establishment. And now, fortunately, all the SOPs which required right from preparing the question paper, printing of the question paper, SOPs for actually conducting the examination, they have all been put in place. Then in addition to that, now we are very confident to have a very transparent and the very fair examination in the future. We have also prepared on a calendar for this current calendar year. We have identified 5 different examinations which we will conduct in the in this calendar year. And because we are now, when we have put up a new system in place, SOPs are there, we are going little cautious way. We have identified the examination initially where the candidates are not very large, so that in a 1 or 2 exams we'll have a test our preparedness, and then of course we'll go with a full throttle. So in the current current calendar year, we have 5 examination which we have already prepared the calendar, and which SSB will come to through an advertisement, another thing, very soon. Now comes to the question, what has been done in the past and what we are doing to against those people who are responsible for this. See, such type of problem have at 2 angles. One is the criminal, where I take money for extending the undue advantage to somebody, so which is a law crime. Secondly is that administrative actions. There is a lapses, like government says you do the work in a proper way and I do not follow that proper way, so I am accountable for an administrative action. So first thing is that criminal thing, where I have gone beyond my mandate and I started indulging into all type of things. So there SIC has been given the moment, I think if I remember correctly, immediately in the next 1 or 2 days we asked SIC, because it was a Saturday or Sunday like this today, we asked SIC to register in a case and proceed with that. So that was so SIC has already registered the case, and they have registered the 2 cases. So there are 2 FIR. One related to the first exam, that is an LDC JSA, and second is related with an UDC storekeeper and others. In the first case, because as you know, our legal system works, everyone is, unless or until he or she is proved he has done something wrong. So we believe everybody is the innocent. So that to prove that, they have to do a detailed investigation, which includes sending in a sample electronic surveillance cameras, laptops, cell phone to the forensic lab and retrieve the report from them. Because of the lockdown, that process took some time. So that is the one it has taken. And then of course when we started doing an investigation, we find that like few people are involved, so that we have to reach to the every person whose name we are getting the information. So SIC today is in a position to complete this entire exercise very shortly. I'm not specifying, but shortly I always mean shortly. It is not in months or whatever, but it is maybe 4 to 5, 6 weeks time. The moment they get a report from FSL, including FSL if I remember correctly at Chandigarh, and then they have to seek certain sanction from the state government, because like prosecution sanction, which we call it in our terminology. So they will be in a position to challan the case into the court, and they have done a very wide investigation where large number of the people has been, money trail has been established. All those things has come in the investigation, which will be put up into the court. And apart from that, because of the lockdown, even the court was not operational during this time. So many times we have to seek the approval of the court for some particular activities of the as a part of the investigation, which also took some time. But today the department is fairly ready to have a final report in probably by next month. Then we'll go to the court. Similarly, on the second examination, SIC is seized of the matter. They are investigating. They have also taken the statement and many other things which is a part of the investigation process. So it will be going into the court. Now comes to that administrative action against the other officers. If you can recall, like at the beginning, like we have set up one high-powered committee headed by a senior IS officer, Jitendra Narayan, and Commissioner Home Kaling, and they have submitted their report. See, when these, like if you can recall, somewhere in the month of the June, one of among you only, I think, asked me at that time whether we can share that information with you or not. So my immediate response was that we will, and I'm still sticking to the same position, we will. Because like our philosophy is nothing to hide, and we are like an open book, anybody can come and read our books. But point was that one was SIC investigation was going on. So some of the things which are there in that report, if it goes into the public domain, so that it is again a conjecture, it may, I'm not saying it will, but it may have like some impact on the investigation. That is why, despite that, when I said in the month of June, I'll share, we have hold on for a time being. Secondly, like whenever we take any disciplinary action against anybody, the normal course of action is we issue a memorandum to the concerned officer or official. In our view, you have done something wrong, and you kindly respond to us at a preliminary stage whether you agree or not agree, so that we can go to the next stage, which in our terminology we call it a memorandum. So all the officers whose name has been came in that report, we have issued the memorandum. Because the law of natural justice said if you want to hang somebody, you listen to him at least once. So as a part of that, we have asked them to respond. So when you ask them to respond, you give some reasonable time frame, you please respond to it. So that is the one stage now, and where this case stands today. Secretary Personnel is here, she can correct me if I am wrong. There are 5 people are there who are involved as per that report. We have issued that memorandum to all the 5 people, and we asked them, can you please tell us what is your view on that. Now these 5 people fall into 2 categories. One category is that All India Services Officer, One category is where that officers are of the state civil services. In India, like these so-called All India Services officers, they are controlled by All India Services rules and regulations. When we started taking action against All India Services officer, so we are like, because again, like Agmod cadre is a very distinct type of cadre, because in India, in these three All India Services officer, all the state have their own cadre, but in Arunachal, Goa, Mizoram Union Territories, we have a joint cadre. So this cadre, like that is why I'm here today, and tomorrow the culling will be in Delhi. So we are like Agmod cadre. In Agmod cadre, the Home Ministry has taken in a position which is like they are the appropriate authority for the taking the disciplinary action against the member of the All India Services officer who, according to the the government of Arunachal Pradesh, they are responsible for certain lapses. So what we have done it, we have issued a memo to these officers, because ultimately the central government will also follow the same procedure, so that there is not a delay, like they are again doing the same thing. We have issued the memo. We are preparing a charge sheet which will share with the Ministry of Home Affairs so that they can take the final further action. Then one officer among those 5 officers we have also placed under suspension, and our action of suspension has also been rectified by the central government, so they also agree in principle that yes, we have done the right thing. And generally, like initially it was for a 3 months time, which has been, last extension has been given by the Ministry of Home Affairs for another 2 months time. So what I mean to say, on both the side, on a criminal side and on the disciplinary administrative side, both the things are moving, and moving at a very reasonably at a pace, and there is no deliberate attempt by anybody's part to delay the process. We are very proactive. When the government of India said yes, they are the appropriate authority for taking the decision, I think in no time, within a few days time, the entire records has been sent to the government of India. We have already issued a charge memo to them, and now we are also in the process of preparing the charge sheet. So that is your SSB related issues. The one issue which has also came up for discussion, Trans-Arunachal Highway, because as you know, in a Trans-Arunachal Highway, there is an issue regarding the land acquisition, where it has been observed that the people has been given the undue favor for extending the compensation. So if I remember correctly, there are two sector of the this Trans-Arunachal Highway. One was from Joram to Koloriang area. Second was Potin to Bopi. So in both the cases, SIC has already registered the cases. Investigation is on. They have also arrested government servants who are involved into that type of activities, and they are also in the process of taking the action against who are the outside the Sarkari Tantra. In addition to that, when we have put up one special team to verify about the amount of compensation, and based upon that report, high powered committee report, तो हाई पावर्ड कमेटी की जो रिपोर्ट थी, उस रिपोर्ट के बेस पे जो यानी लैप्सेस पाए गए थे, उसमें ये भी था कि कुछ लोगों ने पैसा वापस करना पड़ेगा। तो उसके लिए डिप्टी कमिश्नर ने स्टार्ट कर दिया रिकवरी का प्रोसेस, और वो रिकवरी प्रोसेस भी आज की तारीख में ऑन है। ये भी एक एडमिटेड फैक्ट है कि उसमें से कुछ लोगों ने जाके कोर्ट से स्टे भी ले लिया, बट ये तो इसके बावजूद भी यानी एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन का डिप्टी कमिश्नर को ये बड़ा क्लियर कट डायरेक्शन है कि जो भी इस तरह के व्यक्ति हैं जिन्होंने पैसा जिनका बनता नहीं था उसको रिकवर करें, और एसआईसी को भी ये बड़ा क्लियर कट मैंडेट है कि आप इस तरह के व्यक्तियों के खिलाफ उचित कार्रवाई करें। और उसी के चलते हुए एसआईसी ने जो जिन लोगों की ज़मीनें भी उसमें एक्वायर नहीं हुई थी, बट हमारे यानी सरकारी तंत्र के लोगों के द्वारा कनाइवेंस से उनको पैसा दिया गया, तो उसमें भी कहा गया कि उनके खिलाफ भी कार्रवाई करी जाए। तो कहना यह है कि चाहे वो ट्रांस अरुणाचल हाईवे वाला मामला हो, चाहे वो एसएसबी में रिक्रूटमेंट वाला मामला हो, बॉटम लाइन ये है कि गवर्नमेंट का यह है कि करप्शन को एक्सेप्ट नहीं करना है, तो ये जीरो टॉलरेंस है। और इसीलिए यानी कि चाहे वो डिप्टी कमिश्नर था ट्रांस अरुणाचल हाईवे में या एक सेक्रेटरी था एसएसबी के केस में, उसमें हम लोगों ने इमीडिएटली कार्रवाई करी। या फिर कोई सरकारी अफसर था जिसने पैसा लिया या दिया, वो भी उसको अरेस्ट किया गया। तो कहने का मतलब ये है कि करप्शन एक्सेप्टेबल नहीं है और गवर्नमेंट डेवलपमेंट के लिए कमिटेड है। तो ये 4 चीज़ें थी जो इशू निकल कर आए थे कॉन्फ्रेंस में जो ऑनरेबल सीएम साहब ने लिया था, और उसमें हमने कोशिश ये करी है कि जो भी डॉक्यूमेंट्स हैं वो हमने कंपाइल करें और आपके साथ हम शेयर करेंगे। और सेक्रेटरी आईपीआर भी यहाँ पर है, वो सब, और हमने कोशिश ये करी, आप जब देखेंगे उनको, कि हमने पूरा डिटेल्ड में इंफॉर्मेशन दिया है। तो आइडिया ये है कि हम ओपन है फॉर ए पब्लिक स्क्रूटनी के लिए, क्योंकि कुछ हमारी नीयत में ऐसा कोई नहीं है कि हम कोई चीज़ छुपाना चाहते हैं या कोई चीज़ हम बैकडोर पे करना चाहते हैं। जहाँ पर गलतियाँ हुई हमसे, अब सिस्टम जब व्हेन यू आर रनिंग फुल फ्लेज स्टेट, तो 1 या 2-4 ब्लैक शीप कहीं पर होते हैं, तो हमने उनके साथ भी रूथलेसली एक्शन लिया है। और लास्ट पॉइंट जो हमने शुरुआत करी थी उस पर फिर मैं अगेन रिपीट करता हूँ कि जहाँ तक सवाल फाइनेंशियल मैनेजमेंट का है, हमने पूरी कोशिश ये करी है कि हमारे एक्सपेंडिचर पे कोविड-19 के इम्पैक्ट का जो नेगेटिव इम्पैक्ट है वो हमारे सिस्टम पर ना जाए। हमने एक्स्ट्रा एफर्ट्स करे हैं कि हमारे पास में उस जो लॉस इन मनी हुआ है, जो मैं शुरू में आपसे कहा कि 2500 लास्ट क्वार्टर का और 850 करोड़ रुपए पहले 4 महीने का इस साल का, उसको किसी तरह से एडिशनल रिसोर्सेज को किस तरह से एडजस्ट कराए, मोबिलाइज़ किया जाए, जिससे कि पब्लिक को किसी भी तरह का नुकसान नहीं होना चाहिए। और यह उनको ये नहीं लगना है कि सरकार आज की तारीख में काम नहीं कर रही है। हमने अपनी तरफ से पूरी कोशिश करी है कि जो पैसा पिछले साल के 4 महीने में खर्च किया गवर्नमेंट ने, उतना पैसा हमने इस साल के 4 महीने पे करा, तब जबकि पूरी दुनिया में और इस प्लैनेट पे और इस धरती पे ऑलमोस्ट हर इकोनॉमिक एक्टिविटीज़ इम्पेक्टेड थी। भारत सरकार के जीएसटी 90% नहीं आए इन द मंथ ऑफ अप्रैल, उसके बावजूद हमने अपने एक्सपेंडिचर को मेंटेन करा है। और आने वाले टाइम में लायबिलिटीज़ को हम क्लियर कर रहे हैं। जो प्रोजेक्ट स्टेट के लिए ज़रूरी हैं और जो इंतज़ार नहीं कर सकते हैं, उनको हम टेकअप करेंगे, उनके टेंडर भी होंगे। और ये जो बट कुछ चीज़ें हैं जो आप भी अप्रिशिएट करेंगे कि उस पर हम थोड़ा सा स्ट्रिक्ट हैं। हमने कहा हम गाड़ियाँ नहीं खरीदेंगे, यानी लेट सरकारी तंत्र थोड़ा पैदल भी चले या थोड़ी मेहनत करे। उस चीज़ों को हमने कहा है कि 31 मार्च तक कोई नई गाड़ी नहीं खरीदेंगे या कोई नया पोस्ट क्रिएट नहीं करेंगे। ये 2 चीज़ों को छोड़ के बाकी सारी चीज़ों पे हमारी पूरा यानी एफर्ट्स ये रहेगा कि, और एफर्ट्स ये है भी, जब आप हमारे एक्सपेंडिचर को देखेंगे, कि डेवलपमेंटल एक्टिविटीज़ किसी भी कीमत पे सफ़र ना करें। आई थिंक थैंक यू वेरी मच। और my team is here in case like I have not done justice to any of observation, तो they